Hey everybody, this is Steve.
And this is Parnell.
And this is Flippin' and Mashin'.
Episode 16.
Episode 16.
We were naughty. We didn't get an interview at Pinball last week.
That's why that last episode was so short.
Oh my god. You might have to edit that out.
That was a loud crack. So, let's just pause real quick. What are you drinking right now then?
I have a Monster Rehab raspberry tea. I'm being really healthy.
Yeah, and I'm drinking a lame Diet 7-Up because I'm out of Kickstarts right now.
You know it's caffeine free, right?
What's even the point of drinking this?
That's why I was wondering why you grabbed it.
Oh, I wasted my time.
Okay.
Gosh.
At least it tastes okay. I'm not really a big fan of pop.
It's fine enough. All right. Anyways, let's get on with the show here. First, we want to just say about the last episode. The reason why it was so short was because we were planning on having an interview in there, maybe some other stuff, but we never got a chance to get that interview done. So a
lot of people dropped out
Yeah.
Of hitting up Pinball League, so we only had, 4 of us? And then we were working on Batman, the game, and I think we weren't done by the time Matt left, so we could have talked to Matt.
That's
But
true. Well,
John didn't want to because he has to be wasted, I guess.
Exactly. I had just assumed that I could peer pressure him into
I did
doing
too.
it. But his resistance was stronger than I expected.
But today's Thursday again, so we're going back down tonight.
Yep.
The only thing I can think of is a flipper button on the left side of the cabinet of Batman. So we're going to try to do our buy-in tournament that Chris recommended, where everybody puts $5 for instance, and then we play bracket style, and the top 1 or 2, 3 people get to take the money.
Do you want to do the Rex again, or do you want to do the Office where we have all of our machines?
Let's do the Rex so I can get the flipper done.
Okay. Sure.
And then we'll come back here. I know a lot of people are excited to come back, but if people aren't going to show up again...
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, that sounds good to me.
The other big update is we switched podcast host providers. So
Yes.
We were... this last... since our episode 15, a week before that, we were having... Well, I guess since episode...
It was like during 14.
14 and 15. Our podcast wasn't even showing up on my phone through Apple's podcast app.
Right.
And then my laptop wouldn't see it, then it would, and then it wouldn't. It was becoming really weird, so we finally decided to pull the trigger. When was it? Monday? Tuesday?
It was after episode 15, because on 15, my phone also wasn't showing the new episodes, so it was like, we just got to get out of this server, or host. Get out of this host, yeah.
So we were going to roll both, schedule it, do this big cutover, and hopefully everybody would unsubscribe and resubscribe with warning. But it was so bad on, I swear it was Tuesday, because we had Monday off.
Sure, yeah. It
was so bad on Tuesday that we just pulled the trigger and did it because we weren't getting stats. The episode wasn't showing up in people's feeds.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for, this would have been the 3rd week, so we were getting pretty fed up with Podcast Garden.
Right, so we just switched everything over to Podbean, and it's so much better. It's way better.
Holy moly. The analytics alone were worth the move.
Right.
So now we can see people from around the world listening, or at least trying it. And it seems like we're getting more reach.
It sure looks like
without
to me
even doing anything yet.
Right.
It also, you found, it links into our Facebook and Twitter accounts and auto posts our episodes
to
our
cool.
accounts.
Yeah, so people can play it directly from our Twitter accounts or play it directly from our Facebook account.
Yeah, it's embedded.
Yeah. I don't have to make a video which looks kind of odd or whatever. It's just a cool embedded player. I love it. I think it's super smart and super cool.
So, just thank you if you resubscribe.
Yes.
Sorry again to everybody that might have had to re-find us. But we're happy with where we're at Podbean, and hopefully with the higher monthly fee, we have a much higher quality provider.
Right.
And it's super cool to see all these people listening to us, even though my mom, God bless her heart, She says she skipped a couple episodes, so I'm going to have to yell at her. But when more than your mom listens, it's kind of exciting.
It's going to be a lot better for everybody here going forward.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have a page, like our Podbean page is a lot more like a WordPress page.
Right.
So it's a better landing page. And it can link to all of our social accounts.
You can message us now on 3 different platforms. You can either message us on Podbean, you can message us on our email, flippinandmashin@gmail.com, as well as through Facebook. So there's 3 different ways to get a hold of us and comment and let us know what you think about the show, what you think we should be talking about, new games that you're wondering, what our opinion is on.
Tell us about your games.
Exactly.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, so we'll start with some pinball news.
Yeah, let's dive into pinball news.
And we're not up to date on everything because we don't post every day, but Stern just announced Star Trek Vault. And what Vault means is they pick a game that they've done in the past
and redo
that supposedly everybody wants to buy again.
Sure.
And then they just remake it on the line. So they've done Tron, sort of. It wasn't called Vault, but they did rerun a Tron, like a third Tron run.
What do you mean? So for this Tron Vault, what did they do?
Oh, it wasn't a Vault. It was probably a bad example. So they originally made Tron, and then they ran a second run, and then maybe a year or two, and I don't know the dates. People were just wanting it so bad that they actually ended up putting a third Tron run in production, and then they ended it. I think they're licensed. Like, right
did they change anything?
Nope. It was just the pros.
Okay.
They oh, my bad. They changed the translate art. So the original run had a 3D base translate, which is what I have.
Okay.
Then the second run had to translate. I think that was with the guys or something.
Okay, for those who don't know what a translate is, what's
that's
translate?
that picture in the back box, in the back head. That's the translate.
Gotcha.
That's backlit. And then there was a Tron that had the girls standing, Jem and Cora.
Okay.
And I own that. It's rolled up somewhere.
Rolled up.
Yeah, like I have it's like vinyl.
Oh, I thought that it was just one hard piece of glass. So you can
No,
put
the glass
those on.
protects it.
So you can put that on each. Okay.
And I've actually, working with Jesse, we've made our own Tron translate.
Oh, really?
We've made a Pirates of the Caribbean. We made a bunch of them, and I had a handful of them made. So
that's cool.
I'll have to post a picture of it because I have a handful left.
Nice.
If someone was interested, but you have license issues with that, hence why you can't sell them publicly.
Oh, that makes sense.
But that's not a real vault. That was just a kind of a late run.
Okay.
But a vault would be Iron Man got a vault edition, and they fixed some of the problems with the game. Then they updated a toy. Spider-Man got a big vault. So they originally released Spider-Man with the Tobey Maguire movie.
Sure.
And then they re-released Spider-Man a couple of years ago as the comic book style.
Cool.
And that was an awesome update.
So the gameplay is probably very similar or exactly the same.
Same layout.
Sure. They just updated all the art, update some of the coding, probably call-outs and stuff like that.
Yep. So it's all like a new voice actor doing the comic book style.
Awesome.
So all the art, even the DMD art, everything.
Very cool.
What else did they recently do? Yeah, so Star Trek's next.
So with this Star Trek, what do you know about this Star Trek?
It's a Steve Ritchie design. It flows really fast. It's really fun. I didn't think... This is from 2013. This isn't
so
that
it's
old.
Not that old at all.
I can understand.
Okay, so
as a pinball enthusiast, I don't get it.
Sure.
I didn't think there was this big of a need for a Star Trek to come back. However,
there is a new Star Trek series. Is that what they're doing? Are they updating it for the new series?
No one knows yet. They've only announced that it's a vault, so they could actually be changing art and stuff to meet the new.
Or they could be going retro and make it meet the old.
Yeah, they could do anything.
Sure.
There is what's the Dark Vengeance ship? Is it called Vengeance? The ship?
I don't know.
Where the Khan had?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember at all.
They've only said they only announced it, so there's no one knows exactly what's going to happen.
Oh wait, hold on. The one that's out right now, is that based off of the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
The newer style with the younger Kirk.
Yeah, with Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Fantastic series. Love that.
Yeah, same here.
So the pinball machine, awesome. So It could. Isn't there a TV show or something that came out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a brand new Star Trek TV series
It'd be cool if
out called Discovery.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they did do something different. They might not, but so as a pinball enthusiast, I don't get this. This is not that old. I didn't think the need or the want for this game is that big. But as someone from a business side, there are so many new people in the hobby wanting to buy new games. And they
just
missed,
in the last 2 years, so that makes sense why they'd want to re-release it.
Giant market.
That makes sense.
And there is tons of them. I've never seen this many people want to buy new in-box games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I bet Stern can't keep up with their games. And so there's probably a bunch of new collectors that want a new in-box game. So this is going to work. It's based on I've heard it's based on the Ghostbusters pricing. So it'll be low fives for the Pro and I bet you it's $6.99 for the premium.
Okay, it's a lot better than some of the machines we've been talking about recently.
Well, it's an expensive hobby still, but we'll see what it does to the prices of the current game.
Next up,
we did talk about Supreme last week,
right? But you have a big art or news item on it. Go ahead, hit it.
There's so many jackasses on eBay.
I know.
There's people selling pictures of the game for like $25.
I don't get it.
Then someone must have got their game and they're trying to sell it for $80,000 on eBay.
Okay, so they didn't successfully sell it for $80. They're just marketing it for $80.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I thought that they sold it for $80.
Jesus.
Okay. In theory, he might still do it, but if right now it's just for sale for $80,000, what's the highest that we know of that's been sold? You know,
I want to say 20, but I haven't looked on eBay and looked at purchased items.
Sure,
but it's so ridiculous that I'm glad Stern was able to pump these out, make some profit, and Supreme got their name on something neat.
Sure.
But the prices these people are going to pay is just ridiculous.
Right. And by the way, so anyone who's wondering what these look like, I have them posted on our Facebook account. You can check out the different videos and like trailers for the Supreme pinball machine. It does look decently cool. Not as cool as like the Star Trek game or, for instance, the new really neat Pirates of the Caribbean game. But I mean, for a very first game, for a company that has nothing to do with pinball, essentially it's decently good looking, but there's no way on earth it should be priced anywhere near what they're pricing it at.
No, and it's the same layout as the Spider-Man home, and I want to say that's $4,000. I would rather buy that.
Sure.
However, same layout.
First of all, Spider-Man has a cool theme. This doesn't have a theme. Yeah. It's just red and white.
And there's a trailer video for the game, and those are the noises of the game. It's very kind of retro-y sounding. Mm-hmm. But the Spider-Man home has all the call-outs. It has all the Spider-Man crap and the voice actors. I would rather own that. But what everybody's saying is that the Spider-Man... I was looking at trying to get one. It's just kind of expensive, but they're really fun to play. You know, you just have fun playing it. So Supreme should play really fun.
Just watching the trailer, it looks like a fun game to play. If it was a much, much, much cheaper game, like there's no way it should even be worth what the Spider-Man game, which is the same layout, is worth. If that makes sense.
Hey,
I guess. Yeah, technically, whatever people are willing to pay is all that matters.
Other late news for us is Iron Maiden Premium and LE art have been revealed. A friend of mine already has his LE.
Oh, really?
Yeah, down.
Who's that?
In the city. His name is Dave.
Okay.
He's super pumped. He said it's one of the best Stern games in the last 5 years.
He has an LE.
LE.
Wow.
They play the same as the premium, but they get their own art and they get a bunch of added features. Finally. So they get...
So it plays similar, because there's some different functions.
No, the LE and the premium play the same. They are the same game. Like my Ghostbusters premium is the same as an LE,
gotcha.
But the LE gets the plaque, that says 5 out of however many they made.
Sure.
And then the cool thing is Keith Elman wanted extra parts on his, so they got the JBL speaker upgrade, the non-reflective glass, the shaker motors included. So all these nice add-ons get thrown into the game for free, quote-unquote free. But Stern's pricing model just jumped up, so it's kind of covering all those costs.
Sure.
Which is neat. I'm glad to see this.
Yeah.
People have been wanting why pay a giant bunch of money when it's a premium game with just new art?
Right.
I'm not going to pay $1,500 more just for art. Yeah.
Yeah.
So throw in a bunch of extra goodies. They're making money. So like throw in some extra goodies. You're going to keep your LE customers happy, and you're more likely to sell out. Because the Star Wars LE sold out, and then they saw the game, and then everybody canceled their pre-orders.
Right.
It was bad. So WrestleMania, there's still new in-box games for sale. I mean, you want your LEs to sell.
Right. And it's good that the customers are using their dollar to push back. Like, listen, you need to actually give us something that's worth this extra amount of money. Otherwise, why would we give you the extra amount?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And,
because these ones, they look way better. Like you were just showing.
Just looking at pictures.
Speaking of that, I'll make sure I post these up to Facebook. But I think visually, the art as well as the actual cabinet itself looks a lot better.
I like the premium art, and the Pro's not too bad. The LE is... I'm not an Iron Maiden fan. Like, I've never really heard him before.
Mm-hmm.
So the plain thing isn't... I honestly like the Pro art even more than the LE. So
okay.
Whatever.
Well, either way, the art looks cool. But I was really referring to all the fancy red highlights all over the place. I think those look really cool.
Yeah, all the armor got powder coated.
Right. And then as well as the fact that they have really awesome speakers in it.
Yeah,
this is a music orientated pinball machine. It should have really cool speakers. The biggest deal to me, out of over everything else, is the actual movable pieces and functions that are going on inside, like the movable or
there's a sarcophagus ball lock that lifts up and the ball drops in. Like the center ramp lifts, I think, and then the ramp on the left opens up for another ball capture as well.
Right, and I'll make sure I post this again up in Facebook so you guys can check it out for yourself.
We have a trailer, so we'll post that from Stern.
Sounds good.
I'll link to that. And then on the Pro, all the figures are just printed on flat plastic.
Oh.
And on the Premium and LE, they have sculpted figures. It's so cool.
It looks way better.
This is going to be a blockbuster for Stern.
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, if I had unlimited money, this would totally be worth the upgrade. But I don't have this kind of cash.
So Chris bought his Pro before he knew about all these extras. I mean, the Matrix came out, but we didn't know or see pictures, right?
Sure.
After this is kind of like Ghostbusters. It's like, this is worth the upgrade.
Right.
As much as it does cost. I mean, maybe you get a used one, but there's a lot of sweet features in this.
Was your Ghostbusters used?
No, that was brand new.
Oh,
wow. They keep upping the price, and so it gets harder and harder to even want to buy new. And especially, you get all hyped up, right, to get to be, like, if you get a good deal on a new game, you want to get your game and be first. But then there's always someone selling their game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can save $500 or
right.
Nah, depending on the game, you might save $1,000. But let someone else open it up, find some issues, get them fixed under warranty, and then go pick it up.
Kind of like a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hard part too is you get hyped up, into the pre-order and the buying, and a lot of it, like for Stern, for the LEs, they sell out the pre-orders before art or the game is even fully revealed. So people are literally
running on faith,
putting deposits down on something they've never even seen.
Sure.
So Keith Elwin, who designed the game, was just on the podcast Head to Head Pinball. They're two guys based out of Australia, freaking hilarious. I listened to them, and I just finished their Keith Elwin interview this morning, and he kind of goes in deep with the game, talks about scoring and shots and the design and stuff. So if you want to listen to that, it was their latest episode. I recommend it. I thought this was cool. So This Week in Pinball did your top 10 dream themes.
So this is based off of like our opinions, or
this
like
is based
people's
off
opinions.
Their viewer, their
listeners or viewers.
Yeah. So this is the top 10 voted by people that go to This Week in Pinball.
Oh yeah, some of these look awesome.
So 10, Jaws. This has been like, people want Stern to make this so bad. And
Wait, there isn't a Jaws already?
No.
Shut up.
Nope.
Nobody's made a Jaws pinball machine.
Nope. And Stern keeps like loosely teasing it. People keep kind of making it a thing.
That's crazy.
Beetlejuice number 9.
Okay, I'm not a big Beetlejuice guy, but I know a lot of people are.
It was cool when I was little. I'm not obsessed. I wouldn't go buy one.
Sure. I mean, to me, it's just kind of old. But whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's...
Well, there's a new one coming.
Oh, okay. But there's a lot of people who are really, really big into it. I know.
It's unique,
yeah.
The movie. Number 8, Blade Runner.
Well, they just have a brand new movie out right now. It's a hot item, for sure.
Is there going to be a sequel to the new one?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But
I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good. But either way, Blade Runner as a whole is really hot right now.
Yeah.
And it's a cool-looking world.
Yeah, I would agree.
You can have the flying cars and all the different neons all over the place. It would be a really colorful, cool pinball machine, that's for sure.
Could be a lot of cool toys and mechanics in it.
Definitely.
Number 7, Masters of the Universe. I don't know.
He-Man? It's He-Man Masters of the Universe.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been... That's kind of before my time. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never watched He-Man. I just knew of him.
Yeah, same with me.
I would be. Blues Brothers, number 6.
I don't give a shit at all.
Again, kind of before my time.
Right.
I know of them. Haven't seen the movie.
Rick and Morty, number 5. I would totally throw out money for that if I had it. But the Rick and Morty for sure needs to come out. They could have literally an unlimited amount of stuff they could put on there. Because there's so many seasons and every single episode has a brand new theme. They have, like, the Mad Max is a really big deal.
That's right.
Pickle Rick is a big deal. They have just an unlimited amount of different choices they could use. And obviously they're going to be using a lot of that green portal.
Goose down.
Yeah.
There's people on Pinside who were kind of designing their own Rick and Morty game. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that was, like, to get ideas publicly generated so that a company could make it, but...
That's usually what you need to do. Start putting out stuff.
It's happened with, like, Ghostbusters. And there's a couple of older games where someone not teased it, but brought up this, like, The Big Lebowski. Someone on the forum brought this up, and it's like, wouldn't this make a cool game? And then it turned into a game. So you wonder if it's like a conspiracy that they're...
Well, it's not necessarily a conspiracy. What it more like is, I guess it matters who did it. If one of the owners or one of the people who works there...
I think it was just some random person.
Okay, but see, I think if it's a random person, like, for instance, if I wanted a machine made, I might start talking about it religiously, like, on Twitter, and then all of a sudden it starts generating enough conversation that...
The manufacturer goes and gets the license.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to keep it as my conspiracy.
Sure.
That they paid somebody to...
Well, if that is the case, then yeah, it makes sense.
Number 4, The Matrix.
Matrix? Are you serious that there's not already a pinball machine?
Yeah, okay, so... I used to own a Johnny Mnemonic pinball machine.
Sure.
It's an old game. There was I forgot if there
has to be...
Dutch or somewhere... There was somewhere in the UK or in Europe... There's a team of guys that turned a Johnny Mnemonic into the Matrix.
So there's only retrofitted Matrixes.
Yeah, I was so pumped that I told them, Pinovating is what their name was. I kept my Johnny Mnemonic. They sold Translites at the Ministry of Pinball in the UK. I bought a Translite, put it in my Johnny Mnemonic.
Okay.
And I told them, if you release a kit, I will buy one, let me know when. And they never really got back to me, but... I think there was a lot of licensing issues, so they only made 10, and then a couple got sold. There's one in the museum and stuff, and that was it.
Interesting.
I sold my game, pulled the Translite out. I had the Translite.
Sure.
But so it's not a real.
So there's no official game. Matrix pinball.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of handmade ones. 3, Back to the Future.
Shut up.
This coming.
How
back.
Is this not licensed?
No, there is a Back to the Future game.
Okay.
It's old. It's from Data East.
Okay.
But for some reason, people want another one because the game is
mediocre. There's always cool new features you can always add to them for one, or else, yeah, if like you said.
So how is this still relevant? Because the
how
only
is
way
Back to the Future still relevant?
Okay, the only way I know that's still relevant is that they released a new-ish game, and I think was it a comic?
It's a garbage game. Go on.
A what?
It's a garbage game. I reviewed it on the podcast earlier.
Is there a comic or anything?
No.
Or a cartoon?
No.
So why is this... How is this back into the main...
Because it's still one of the top viewed movies probably of all time.
Okay.
People love Back to the Future. Just like people love Star Wars. The reason why Star Wars isn't on this list is because there's already multiple Star Wars pinball machines. If there was only one Star Wars game, people would want more.
Oh, yeah.
But there's already plenty of Star Wars games out there.
I don't want to go on a tangent, but I feel like that Stern dropped the ball in Star Wars because if they had the license, they could have made a game for each movie, and it could have been freaking awesome.
Yeah, they could have made an anthology. That would have been smart. Can you imagine the collectors wanting to try to collect a whole entire set?
Oh my god, yeah.
They could have made bank at the same time. Whatever.
Current one's very generic, but
right. Yeah, when it comes to Back to the Future, again, there's a lot of stuff that they can play with because it's full of cool.
And there's 3 of them.
Yeah, you could have the train from number 3. You could have the flying hoverboard and the flying car from number 2. The sneakers. You could have you could have a whole bunch. Obviously, the flying car is going to be a big mainstay of the.
And I wonder if that license isn't too hard to get. Well, you have the Doc guy and Marty McFly dude. Maybe they're hard to get.
I doubt it. I can't imagine that the licensing is that hard to get.
Better
it's going to cost money, for
but
sure, but...
As long as you got to do it before people start dying, because then you have to work with their estate or whoever owns their...
Well, I would just use call-outs from the movies. There's probably plenty of call-outs. There's 3 movies to play off of.
Yeah, but they're not pinball specific. But, to use their facial... their face pictures, you have to get... Unless the first one was made in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Unless back then, how Star Wars was, Star Wars themselves own those rights. So, you didn't have to go talk to those people.
Those movies are so old, I'm sure that you can just use...
That the movie holder has all the rights to use all the pictures and stuff?
I think so, just like Star Wars.
Number 2, Goonies. I
enjoy Goonies, I guess.
I bought it.
I'm not
I think I watched it once.
Goonies fan.
Yeah. It was a cool kids movie. I've never really...
Allie, my fiance, Goonies is one of her favorite things.
Oh.
But to me, it's...
I would never buy a game.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't. It's number 2 on the list. Obviously, there's enough people out there that think Goonies is the shit, but I personally don't care at all.
Number 1. This is one of mine.
I know. So, number 1 is Harry Potter. How many Harry Potter pinball machines are already out there?
None.
Really?
There was a quote from...
I think that's very odd. So, there's not one single pinball machine out there that's Harry Potter?
Nope.
Wow.
There's a pinball zine, and they made a hand drawing of all every Harry Potter book had a pinball machine they made, designed.
Okay.
Just kind of on a napkin looking, and they wrote all the cool features that you could do in it. Loved it. So neat. There could be a pinball machine for each movie.
Sure.
If they really wanted to.
And they have a bonkers amount of movies and a bonkers amount of books. They can play off of probably just about anything. Because it's such a huge, huge series.
J.K. Rowling, a long time ago, was quoted as saying, pinball... I think someone asked her about it, and she said, I don't like anything to do with bars and drinking, so a pinball machine would not work. So she's against it.
Well, that's just her being closed-minded then.
Yeah, but I don't know how much control she still has over licensing.
I'm sure she's got a massive amount. But either way, what if she just went... What if the person who was trying to license it went to Warner Brothers instead?
That's what I mean. She can't control literally everything, can she? I mean...
Doubt it.
She's the creator, but... So, for instance, Jersey Jack made Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
Is that not, the best example to show her if she was against drinking? It's we took Wizard of Oz, made a pinball machine. We could make Harry Potter into a game, and it's family-friendly. Because that Jersey Jack's...
no matter what, Harry Potter is going to be family-friendly because it's
true,
kids
but
series.
If her whole thing's about bars and drinking, it's
no, but
most of the sales go to home collectors now.
Yeah, that is her being closed-minded, thinking that pinball machines are only in bars.
It's kind of like Lakeside up here. If you let a bar sell liquor up here, it doesn't bring prostitution.
Correct. Exactly.
This is just back ass.
Exactly. It's putting dots together that don't need to be put together.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sure. Do bars have pinball machines in them?
Yeah.
Does that mean that for you to have a pinball machine, it has to be in a bar? Of course not.
No. And does a bar mean you're an alcoholic?
No. So, no, it's... That's her putting dots together in the wrong way.
All right, and then there's some honorable mentions. Big Trouble Little China, right before our time, I think. But
is that the one with the
guy from the plane movie too? He has kind of.
I think I know what they're talking about. Yeah, look it up real quick.
Why do I always forget his name? Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I've seen the trailers for this because like it has a crazy ending.
I haven't
that
seen
is, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous, and I would have zero interest in ever watching that film in real life. So apparently, there's a lot of people who like it. It is probably an old classic, but it just looks so wonky that it looks dumb.
It's the generation before us that are really obsessed with it, I think.
Sure.
Haunted Mansion. I have no idea if this is something specific to something or what.
I don't know.
Led Zeppelin. I think Nikki, she likes Led Zeppelin, so she'd be down.
Is there not already a Led Zeppelin pinball machine?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
Legends of Zelda.
Makes sense to me.
Yep, this would, I think, grab a lot of new customers.
Right. I mean, a lot of video game orientated pinball machines could be made.
They would sell so much better now than they did back when they did release them. Like Super Mario Brothers, made by Gottlieb. People didn't really like the brand. Not Mario, but Gottlieb made games, and then that game sells today for an ungodly amount of money.
Right, and it's because it's video game orientated. If they started making pinball orientated or video game orientated pinball machines, they could be making a lot of money because there's a massive amount out there that have no problem licensing out. Yeah, Legend of Zelda. As long as they get the licensing from Nintendo, they'd be set to make tons of money. So the next one on the list here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Is there not one already out there?
There is one. Again, remember how I said Back to the Future was made by Data East back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. They made a Ninja Turtles game.
Okay.
It's got like a spinner in the playfield. It's a pizza.
Sure.
It's kind of... Actually, it looks really neat, but again, I think it plays a little clunky. It's a little old. It's based off the old TV show.
Nickelodeon, they have a brand new cartoon out. They had a 3D cartoon out for a long time that they pushed all over the place. Like if you go to Nickelodeon Universe down in the Twin Cities, the turtles all over the place, and you get to see firsthand all the different licensing that they have. They have Legos. They have...
they're coming back again.
Yeah, they have everything under the sun when it comes to turtles. They did a big push on that.
The new arcade game came out, and then the new movies were out.
Right.
So they could pull from a handful of different versions.
Right.
Now,
I think if they were going to push one out right now, they'd be trying to push out their new current cartoon that they just made. So that's probably what they would push. But nonetheless,
or whatever the arcade is, which is kind of cartoony, but it's not the new cartoon because the new cartoon has different size.
Correct, different size turtles.
A little odd for us coming from the old school.
Yeah, because we're used to all the turtles being the same size.
The last one,
I can't imagine that that licensing for the turtles with Nickelodeon would be an issue. They would,
if they can do an arcade game, and they've done arcade games in the past too. I think a pinball machine would be honestly a really good fit.
And it would be super colorful. You would have all four turtles obviously on the playfield. So you'd have your figurines. You would have probably some cool motion stuff. Like you could have...
Oh, like mechs and toys.
Yeah, but like let's say you have Michelangelo like swinging his nunchuck and stuff like that. Yeah, you could have some really cool movements and stuff.
The last one is Willy Wonka, which is honestly rumored to be made by Jersey Jack anyway. So
okay. So
I remember seeing when I was a kid. I don't care.
Willy Wonka is a big deal. A lot of people like Willy Wonka. I used to enjoy Willy Wonka. I haven't seen it in a long time, to be honest. It's like, again, a very colorful, cool-looking environment. I can imagine that it would be a neat looking. I wouldn't buy it. I want the Turtles to come out or something like, Zelda.
Okay, so speaking of which, this list, do you have any top one or two dream themes that you would love to see?
Me personally?
Personally, you, instead of this
list.
The
problem is I'm already skewed because I'm looking at this list. Back to the Future should come out. Matrix, I love the Matrix.
And they're now talking about a new Matrix reboot, so that would make some sense. I just don't know how it's going to wreck my... I don't want to...
It actually makes me angry just thinking about it, so I don't even want to talk about it. But the Matrix, I think they should come out with one for sure. I would totally...
But based on the old stuff?
Yes. Neo, yes, all that.
It pretty much should just be based off the first movie.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
They could do a trilogy, but it's gonna end up like the Star Wars. It's gonna be just like
they need to come out with the trilogy because the trilogy has all the cool vehicles and stuff in it.
That's true.
The first one only has them like in the Matrix for the most part. It has some stuff outside, but for the most part, you're always in the Matrix.
Yeah, but like
The second two have all the cool extra characters, like the ghost twins, or
that's right. And then the big fight scene with all the agents.
Right, or all the flying ships, and all the robots coming in and attacking. With like, the mechs, the cool mechs, and number 3 just hosing down all those.
I want to say Guardians, but they're called something else.
I'm talking about it's like the robot spiders coming.
Yeah, I want to call them Guardians, but they're called something else. But yeah, they got the little squids.
Squids. That's a better way to describe them. And I just love those scenes with them just screaming, hosing them down. But and obviously, you would need lots of Neo. Plus, Neo looks better in the newer ones. Like all the characters look better in the newer ones. Because they had a way bigger budget, so they gave them all super cool outfits, unique individual outfits. Like Morpheus looks a lot better. They all look a lot better.
I love Harry Potter. I have like some Harry Potter wands that I got when I went to Universal Studios and stuff. I would love one. That would be one of my all-time favorite games. Ghostbusters was another one I loved. I like Batman 66. I just can't afford it. It's a little too high priced. And I like Batman a lot, but I don't like Batman like $7,000 Batman.
I hear you.
I'm trying to think of another theme that I would be obsessed with, but it's hard because a lot of these, like Ninja Turtles, yep, love it. Matrix, love it. Rick and Morty would be really sweet.
Rick and Morty would be bomb.
But again, can you imagine just trying to save up and spend $5 to $6 grand on a game for Rick and Morty? It'd be freaking hilarious, though. That's the funny part.
It would. All the funny call-outs would be really actually dynamite. Okay, on this list, out of everything that's on here, even over the Matrix, I would totally buy a Turtles above everything else.
I like that
for me personally.
Because like Rick and Morty, I like, but it's not from when I was little, and I've liked it my entire life. I've liked it for the last 6 months.
Sure.
Where Ninja Turtles, I've liked my entire life. Ghostbusters, my entire life.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
Turtles reaches back for nostalgia as well as the new kids and everything else. Turtles is spans across everything.
Yeah.
Because they just keep reinventing themselves.
For
For whatever generation's out right now.
I just remembered the theme that would blow my mind. The Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
And I'm being serious.
No, but that would be bomb because of all the call-outs. Just call-out after call-out after call-out.
Call-outs, humor, the characters and the interactions.
Anybody want to paint it?
Yep. You could have the ball go up that mountain.
Yes.
It would be an amazing
if they had a backsplash that all of a sudden, like, you got the ball into, like, this thing and it kind of carried up, and it climbed up the cliff, that would be incredible.
The Cliffs of Despair or something?
Yeah, the Cliffs of Despair.
I would do whatever it took to get that game. I would, like, sell a kidney to get the LE, maybe. And
you could have different areas. Like, you could have what's the forest called again?
I forgot. And remember that guy carrying the thing? He's like, the forest of...
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a bomb.com.
What is the Spanish guy's name? Do you remember?
Inigo Montoya?
Yes. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Like that would be another cool... like multi-ball, because that totally need to be a multi-ball because they're sword fighting. They're hacking back and forth where you're trying to keep the balls out, so the balls are coming in. You're hacking back and forth trying to. Yeah, that's gotta be multi-ball.
You pick which cup to drink with what's his nuts.
That would be a cool feature, like cool mode. Pick which one. Click, 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 click. Like a video mode.
Yeah. Oh, like Ghostbusters, like picking the cards.
You have to pick a and then if you get the wrong one, then you die.
Ah.
You train a ball, because that's I'm big into that. If you lose, you train a ball. Well, you died. You drank the poison. You should have lost a ball.
All right. In other news, Doug Score, who worked at Chicago Gaming, he helped with the Medieval Madness remake. Him and Doug from Planetary helped me get my Medieval Madness game. He actually just joined Stern as the director of exporting, so he'll be helping get games out of the States. So.
Okay.
I know Stern just was setting up. What news was it? They're trying to get games to China and Japan and stuff.
Okay.
So they're trying to spread out. They're in Australia and Europe, and now they're going to Asia. So they're growing their market. We'll see how it goes.
That's good.
So good for him. He's a super nice guy. I like Doug a lot. The other cool news, except we live really far away, is that the Pacific Pinball Museum is going to have a sale of their surplus games, and the prices are not bad. I have a link here. They have, what was it, like over 1,200 games, and they're selling a ton of them.
So for us, if we were in China, we'd obviously have to pay quite a bit in shipping. But somebody who's over, I'm assuming
it's in California,
is in California, yeah,
by San Jose. So you have 30 days to get them.
Oh, really?
To go pick them up.
Okay.
And I was like, you could do a little
road
fly
trip?
out,
Okay.
U-Haul back. The prices are good, so we'll post that link. Maybe someone out in California can go snag them. I don't know if it's an auction or if it's just for sale. If it's an auction, the prices are going to jump, for sure. But if they have the prices and you just get to buy them, they were like a F-14 Tomcat was $1,400.
Sure.
A couple of these older games were $450. Pretty decent prices.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have... That's done with pinball news unless we want to talk about... Oh, Batman Dark Knight from the Rex. Because we didn't talk about it after we left last week.
Okay, yeah, sure.
We got the new ballast for the back box light.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the new ball bin, so now that works. And you noticed that the back box is actually colorful.
Yes. It looked black and white almost. Not...
With it off, yeah.
Right. Tell you what, it didn't necessarily look black and white, but it looked very colorless. Whereas when it was lit up, it looked so much more bright. It had a lot of purples in it. Had a lot of other... the colors were just so much more vibrant than I expected.
Oh, for sure. And now the game actually looks like it works.
Right. That backsplash being lit really does wonders because it lights up the whole entire playfield as a result, and it makes it look alive. With the backsplash being dead, no matter what's going on the actual playfield, you walking by it makes you think that it's out of order.
Yep, correct. And it's mostly incandescent bulbs inside, so it's not even that bright. So even if you walked up to it, you might not know.
Mm-hmm.
We got the new bulb in there. I soldered the diode on the center ramp, so now that works. So the left crane ramp that tilts was working. So now we got multi-balls. We were having a blast getting 20, 30 million on that game. We weren't setting records, but we were playing 3 or 4 player games. We were getting all the multi-balls, Scarecrow and all that. It was really fun because then all the modes worked.
Right. Yeah, it was way more fun than the first several times we played it because there was just so much more to it now.
Yeah, that whole left never worked before, the left side.
Exactly. Now it feels like a full game now, whereas before it felt like we were playing half a game.
I had sent out the link to the how-to play it video. No one watched it but me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing things to get multi-balls going, and everybody got mad at me. They're like, "Oh, you cheater! You watched the how-to." I was like, "I sent you guys the video."
Well, no, exactly. Either way, we all learned that the big way to make points out for that game is to keep hitting the Joker over and over and over again. Because once you hit the Joker, that drops a big multi-ball, and then from there, you can use that multi-ball to get you other stuff, like other multi-balls. And
yeah, there was a mode I actually found. I don't know how I found it, but I started Spotlight or something and started getting some big points off that.
Yeah. Because either way, you had a couple modes running all at the same time, and you stacked up so fast, so quickly, that the rest of us were just trying to chase you down. And I got close to a couple times to getting that Joker multi-ball. I actually only got it, I think, probably like twice.
I was trying to coach him on to not just flip to flip, but like make shots, and he got mad at me that it wasn't fun.
No,
so you were just flailing?
No, that was just me being ridiculous because I sometimes have that mentality of I'm charging in. Don't worry about it. I'm running in. Just let me do this.
Don't worry, it's multi-ball. I can just flail around. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, ball saves off, and it's like I'm back to 1 ball. I'm back to 0 balls.
Exactly. No, it's a lot more fun to me sometimes to just swing away. But you're right. Obviously, it is smarter to try to capture the balls, but I think it's more fun just to swing away constantly.
Well, we don't have to pay for a game. It might be fun. But when you're paying for games, you gotta slow your roll.
Sure.
All right. Mail from Marshall and Chris. I don't think we had any new stuff, did we?
Yeah. No. Marshall sent us some stuff off.
Okay. Next, Xbox news. I'm just kidding.
He really enjoys hearing the cracks of the can. but could you cut out some of the silence? So I'd have to re-listen to the...
We didn't... I've started to re-listen to our podcast just to kind of get an idea.
Sure.
At first, I really hated hearing my voice, but now I just want to hear how we flow and stuff, and I don't remember lots of silence, but...
Yeah, I guess I'm not entirely sure what he's talking about.
When you edit new ones, we'll just have to make sure.
Correct. I'll have to edit out if there's too much silence in and around the actual cracking of the cans. I'm writing in so Parnell can suck it, because you keep telling him that if he doesn't write in, that it doesn't count.
True.
2 episodes ago, we were talking about the Halo. We were talking about that quite a bit. And I was saying that I couldn't remember how the precursors ended up dying. I thought that somehow... I couldn't remember. I don't even remember what I said at all, for that matter. But he just says that the flood ended up killing off the precursors. I don't really see how that's possible. Oh, no, I do. Yeah, no, I remember now. The flood ended up killing off the precursors because... That's not entirely true. The humans... glassed an entire planet with a bunch of with a bunch of the precursors on it. But whatever, it's fine. Whatever, we'll go with it. Maybe the flood killed off the rest of them. And then he says, "And goodness, Locke is not cooler than the Chief." Well, that's your opinion. I think that I think that Spartan Locke is a dynamite character, and Spartan Locke is way cooler looking than Master Chief. Master Chief is cool looking. I'm not saying he's not. I think Master Chief is bomb. But I think Spartan Locke is super cool.
I don't have enough input because I didn't get into the lore of the game. I only played really a lot of Halo 1, 2, 3, and I just enjoyed the co-op campaign, but I don't remember the storyline, so you guys are, way more balls deep than I am.
Sure. And then he says that Halo 5 has no couch co-op. Which I think is what we said, actually.
I think so. And I think we said it's online co-op. I think it has it, but it's online only. So you have to play with your friend over Xbox Live.
And then the last thing he says is we were talking about Destiny 2, some of the changes that were in it. And we were saying that we thought that there's a whole strike that's not available to Xbox players. Mm-hmm. Whereas that strike is available to PlayStation only. And I was saying that I thought that it was permanent. It wasn't even a 1-year thing. But he is saying that it's on an embargo for 1 year. It's only available for PlayStation, and then after that, it's available for Xbox.
Who on Xbox is going to go back and play it a year from now?
Well, what normally happens is they end up re-releasing like new DLC, and then that kind of goes in with it.
So you're saying they're going to support Destiny 2 in 1 year?
They have been supporting it for 3 years. So yeah, I think so.
Well, Destiny 1? Destiny 2 is not 3 years old.
Yes, agreed. But Destiny 1, I think, survived 2 or 3 years by itself.
Okay, no, I'm just asking.
Yeah. So, in
I didn't know if they had a new game plan.
As long as their player base doesn't die off, in a year or whatever, then...
Well, they'll probably still release some little updates between now and then, but...
Exactly. So they keep re-releasing updates to try to keep the player base still engaged. And they keep releasing events like Iron Banner just ended not that long ago. I didn't have the opportunity to actually join on Iron Banner this time around, and I was disappointed that I missed out on it because we've
moved down to the Switch.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Switch for 1, but for 2, I've been busy. But I really wanted to get involved in Iron Banner this time around because they had some really cool armor that I missed out on. But it is what it is. Let's move on to just Xbox news.
I have one criticism.
Oh, go ahead.
I finished the last episode, and the ending music after we quit out was loud AF.
Okay.
Like, our voices are low, and then all of a sudden it's like, RAP! And so if you had headphones in, I could see it being a little loud.
Blowing people's eardrums out?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make sure I drop
kind of
that.
Voice. What do you call it? You, like, level the audio out or something?
Yeah, all I have to do is bring down the volume for the last bass drop. Yep. Yeah.
You like dubstep?
I'll have to look it up on Google.
In Xbox news, we decided we should be talking about the free games that you get with Xbox and PlayStation. We were doing that when we first started our podcast, and we kind of fell off talking about it. So we're bringing it back this month for June. I suppose it's not this month. It's next month, right?
No, we're in June right now.
What? No, it's May.
Okay.
Damn. But
this is May 31st. So, fine. Tomorrow's June.
So June is on Xbox.
On Xbox One, we have Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Oh, I was going to look that up to see if it was the prequel minigame or the big one.
Sure. I have not played this game. I know a lot of people like it a lot. I think you were just telling me about it not that long ago, but I've never played it. But it's got to be a good pickup, and especially for free. I'm totally going to play it for free.
This is the full game. Ground Zeroes was the open world teaser game.
So this here is the full episode 5, whatever you want to call it.
I love Metal Gear. Freaking love it. I was obsessed since Metal Gear Solid on PS1. I beat that game 3 times to get all the endings and all the extra gear.
Wow.
I was able to beat it in like 1 or 2 hours or something once I knew where everything was. Loved it. So I definitely need to get this. I would like to at some point when I find some free time, go back and play through to get the storyline. Because I think I stopped at Snake Eater on PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So I've missed a bunch, but
well, either way, for free. This is a
snag it.
Yeah, you gotta download this for free. Also, for Xbox One is Super Mega Baseball 2. I've never played it, but for free, why not snag it? Snag it.
Here's where you get excited.
This is where I get excited here. For Xbox 360, their free game of the month is Vanquish, and I love Vanquish. If you haven't played this game, you need to try it out. It is like watching cocaine. It is. It is.
What do you mean watching cocaine?
Because it's so visually so visually fast.
Just flick some cocaine in your eyes and start getting all fucked up.
Because the movement in this game is so crazy fast, and so it's a third-person shooter, and you are in like this mech suit, kind of like, well, it's like an ability-enhancing mech.
It's almost like a Halo suit.
Yeah, it looks similar to Halo. You have a gun that can change in all sorts of different things. It can change into a shotgun, into a heavy machine gun, into like a regular machine gun.
Sounds like Cable's gun. Weird.
His armor has all those sorts of like jetpacks all over it, so he can go down on his knees and slide right by people and just hold them.
Is this the game where you like run, you can like slide in almost slow motion for a while you're shooting?
Yes.
Okay.
You can slow time, that you can hose them better, but also you can just blast around. Like you have jetpacks on your back, jetpacks on like the back of your calves, and all this different stuff. They're all over the place, so you can go into different angles. The art in it is really cool. The characters are really neat.
It's like Bullet Fire mixed with Tony Hawk.
There's so much sliding in it.
Bulletstorm, sorry.
Yeah, Bulletstorm.
Mixed with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, kind of. Because it feels so arcadey. Like, Bulletstorm was a very arcade-feeling game where you were just trying to rack up scores. And that's how this feels. You're just hosing so many people that you don't really feel in danger. I mean, you will end up dying quite a bit. But in comparison, kind of like in Dynasty Warriors, where you kill millions of people, that's kind of what this game is.
Cool.
You kill so many people that you're just trying to basically keep the score up, trying to rack
I like these arcade style games because you don't need to grind and you don't need to put a bunch of time in. You can play a level or two, get a little bit of time in, and just hack and slash the crap out of a level.
Yeah. Get
enjoyment, set it down, walk away, and you don't have to come back and like, where was I in the story again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game is a blast. The story is okay. I mean, don't
play it for the story.
Yeah, the story. Yeah, exactly. It's a fine enough story if you don't give a crap about stories. But the actual gameplay itself is wonderful, and I love it. And if you haven't played it, it's completely free on Xbox 360 this year.
Xbox
this
Live,
month.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess if you still have a 360 with Live, you could get it.
Well, here's the thing. You don't need to just get it on Xbox 360. It's also playable on the Xbox One.
No, I know, but like if you own a 360, not an Xbox One, that would be a free game for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
But if you have an Xbox One, you can also get it for free.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In PS4 news, their free games this month are XCOM 2, which is similar to...
I think I have that downloaded on the Xbox One.
The Rabbids Kingdom Battle game on Switch, where you take, it's a rounds, and you take turns moving your character X steps, then you get to do an action, and then you have to wait.
Yeah, it's a strategy game where you move your characters around on the board to try to get different angles on the enemy and kill them.
It's kind of like a strategy RPG-ish game because you can upgrade your characters.
Right.
Then the other game is Fusion Trial, which is that cool sideways motorcycle game.
Yep.
Side-scrolling motorcycle.
It's very popular.
For the PS3 thrown in there, it's Zombie Driver HD and Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Never played them.
I played Ghost Recon Future Soldier. That's pretty fun. So, again, that'd be another great pickup. I don't know if you're allowed to play PS3 games on PS4.
These are all... Good point.
So, I don't know if I would need a PS3.
But these are digital, so I wonder if they either emulated them or they were able to port them. Sort of like what Xbox did. Because I think it's the same as the 360 going to the Xbox One. The architecture of the hardware is different, but it's a digital DLC or digital content that they've ported to the new hardware, and it's only you can't put your disc in on a PS3 disc into a PS4 and play it. Right. And you can only do that on certain Xbox games because of the way that it has to get emulated or redone. So maybe they are doing the PS3. We don't have a PS4, so
right. And then lastly, you got the PSP Vita is getting Atomic Ninja and Squares. I've never heard of either one of these games.
I just saw a commercial or something for Korea, I think, in Asia or in the Asian area.
Sure.
Japan, South Korea and stuff.
Sure.
The Vita is freaking huge. It's still selling.
Okay.
When I was at the PlayStation store in South Korea, they had new Vitas on the shelf. So I was blown away because they don't sell it here. New.
But PlayStation is a lot more popular over there. So
it's a Japanese company, yeah, so it's big over there.
Just like Xbox is not popular at all over there because it's an American company.
The 360 did okay, but Xbox One is doing horrible.
Yeah. So those are free games, but I also have a list of deals, like really sweet deals for the PS4 and the Xbox.
Okay, what's the deals?
Right, so on Xbox One, right now, if you go into their Xbox store, you can get BioShock, the whole collection, for $20.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
People like that.
A whole trilogy for $20.
But that's single player, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good story. A lot of people like it. Never played it.
Another huge deal is Borderlands, the Handsome Jack collection. That's $20 as well for all the Borderlands. Yep.
That's a cool cel-shaded FPS. It's kind of RPG-ish, but not really.
Right. I think I'm gonna buy that for $20. That's super cheap.
One of our friends, Aaron, really likes Borderlands, so it's a good game.
Another big deal is Red Dead Redemption. If you haven't played that, it's only $10. Just $10.
It's like Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West.
Yeah. It's
super sweet.
It's a dynamite game, and they have the new one coming out here soon.
Oh, that's right.
Rocket League is only $11, so that's dang cheap. I'm picking that up. PS4, Kingdom Come Deliverance is $42. I don't know.
No idea what that game is.
I don't know. Capcom versus Marvel is only $20. That's a huge game for only $20. Street Fighter Arcade Edition, $28. I mean, these deals for PlayStation 4 aren't
Yakuza
nearly
6, $48. Well, it's not that big of a discount.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, for $48...
That's like getting your 20% off almost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot more disappointing.
Is there any Switch deals?
Yeah, Nintendo Switch. Oh, here we go. Nintendo Switch. Max Curse of the Brotherhood, $20. I don't really plan on playing that.
Rayman Legends Definitive Edition, $20. That's a good deal. That's a huge game. I think that's the one from the Wii U.
Yeah, but I don't like Rayman Legends.
It's a good platformer, if you like platformers.
I suppose. And because I've played it, because you can play the demo for free right now. If you guys wanted to check it out, you can download it for free and actually experience it. I've played through the demo, and I don't know. I moved on from Rayman. I think the art is kind of cool, but that's just about it.
I played the demo as well, and I even bought it on Wii U because I got it, I think, from Craigslist really cheap.
Sure.
And if I had time and I was bored, I'd pop it in, but yeah, it didn't really draw me in really big.
I think a much bigger deal would be something like Lego Marvel Superheroes. That's $30, or Lego City Undercover. That's $20.
That is like a Lego Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, is it?
Yep. It's a big city, and you get the pretty much open world sandbox thing. The initial version of it was a little clunky and slow to load, but I think they've got a patch or two and said it works pretty well.
You were just speaking about Mario and the Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
That's only $30 as well. It's also on
It's a
sale.
good deal. It's a lot of... They just announced new Donkey Kong DLC for it, so you can play as Donkey Kong.
Really?
When Tropical Freeze came out.
Nice.
So it's pretty sweet.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on. We can talk about Nintendo, I guess, for a little bit. I have been playing a decent amount of Hydro
Thunder?
yeah, of Hyrule.
Oh my god,
Warriors.
what if they made a Hydro Thunder pinball? I would blow...
Yeah, I know you would.
My mind.
You blow your load.
I forgot. We're an explicit podcast. We can say things like that.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been playing Hyrule Warriors.
It's really good.
It's Nintendo's Dynasty Warriors.
It is.
We had a whole episode about wanting to play Dynasty Warriors.
Right, and this is it. And that's, as I was playing it, I didn't realize how similar it is to Dynasty Warriors. It is Dynasty Warriors, just basically
In
shaded
Zelda
in Zelda. So it has rock music, not as intense. It doesn't have a constant wailing guitar like in Dynasty Warriors. But I did notice that it did have upbeat rock music. So it's not just like Zelda or some other Nintendo game that I'm used to. It has some good upbeat pumping music, because that's what you need when you're just running around constantly just slaying people endlessly. It has some good music. It has wonderful art. The gameplay is slick and easy, so you can pick in between 3 different characters.
And there's more you can unlock.
Yes, there's a ton of characters, but what I meant is, like, at one time, you have 3 people on your team. You can flick in between them.
Yeah, and even the newer Dynasty Warriors and the whatever Warriors that we played, you could do that. And that was new to me, to the Dynasty Warriors world.
Yes. But I think this is why this is better. So when we played that Dynasty Warriors Okonami or whatever it's called, that you only had one player on the field.
Yeah, at a time.
So you were magically importing and outporting characters.
Yeah.
These characters are always on the field fighting somewhere. So Link could be off doing battle over here while you are a different character doing battle over here. So you can flick back and forth in between them.
Oh, and you move on the map.
Yes. Which is really neat if you need to teleport basically to the other. Instead of running all the way to the opposite side of the map, you just look for the other player. It's like, hey, where's Link right now? Cool. He's way closer to the objective than I am. So you just flick over to him and then you just run over to the objective. So I like that feature a lot. You can run them next to each other so they are all kind of battling in unison as a team. But I kind of like having them spread out so that I can do those quick jumps if I need to. They have some neat, big, huge monsters that are on the battlefield that at first I was having a little bit of difficulty trying to defeat, like the very first boss, because I couldn't figure out how to kill him. Because I was trying to slash him to death, and that's not how you do it. You have to throw bombs into his mouth.
So it took an element of Zelda, which is you have to figure out how to kill an enemy, a boss, in a specific manner.
Sure.
And brought it into Dynasty Warriors.
Right.
Which is cool.
Which, yeah, because they have a couple of those different
mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed the game. It was totally worth the money, because I bought it for $60, whatever. But I'm loving it.
So have you played co-op yet?
No.
I guess there's no one in your house that'd play with you.
Correct.
So,
I brought it in today, so theoretically we could play if we wanted to.
All right. So we'll probably not today, but we'll have to play it together, and we should do it the next time we record a podcast. Late at night.
Yep.
All right. So you'd recommend it. I still want to pick it up, but I'll have to go find the physical.
It right now is right near the top of my favorite Switch games. My favorite Switch game might still be Rocket League. I really like this game, though. Right now I'm playing it over Rocket League because it's new and fresh to me, but I think in a month I might play... I know actually I played Rocket League over this.
And I have Hyrule Warriors on Wii U, and I played it maybe an hour and really liked it. But then, once the Switch came out, all my Wii U stuff's been sitting there. I haven't touched it since.
Right.
So, I hate rebuying it, but at the same time, I really want to play it. So maybe I'll just play it with you instead of buying it.
Sure, and I don't know what the graphics difference is in between the Wii U and the Switch when it comes to this game. I don't know if it looks a lot better or not.
It probably is slightly enhanced, but not...
It's not going to be.
You're not going to notice it big time.
Sure.
The Wii U is pretty good at putting out some decent graphics.
Mobile gaming. So this is actually I've been playing even more than anything else.
This is so weird. Steve, you are just the weirdest. I would rather play my phone than any console game.
So I've been playing a game called Dungeon Hunter Champions.
You know what you need to do? Reach out to these mobile game people and just tell them that you're like the biggest fan on the planet. And give you free games to review. Because you're obsessed with mobile games.
Well, this is a free game technically, but I could get like free extra stuff like.
Yeah, where they would unlock crap.
Yeah.
Instead of having you pay for it.
That's brilliant, actually. I should do that. I have a podcast. I already played a game.
We have
I'd like to review
8 billion listeners.
Right. Anyways, so Dungeon Hunter Champions, it reminds me a lot of Diablo.
Oh, shut up. I love Diablo.
Yeah, so it reminds me a decent amount of Diablo. It has some other cool elements that I like a lot that remind me of, for instance, Destiny. So Destiny has like social areas where you can kind of all be together in the tower, right? Well, here they have social areas like in your main menu when you first load in. You are automatically already in the social like world, whatever. So you can go.
Are you on a map, like you walking around, or is it just like you see people's names? Like,
you're on a map.
Okay, so it's kind of like Diablo's city, like the main city.
Yeah,
right?
but are other people in there?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've only ever played it in single mode, so I've never played it with anybody else on there. I must have never played it online.
Come, stay a while and listen.
So there's other people on the map. I'm not talking about NPCs.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you play multiplayer.
All right, then never mind. Then it's actually exactly like Diablo. Then, I love the art style. I think it's super cool. All the women in it are extremely sexy.
Wow, we should edit that out. Steve's gonna be this freaking sexist pig.
All the men in it are just these big, huge hulking monsters.
So it's like Gears of War.
Yeah.
With
super sexy women in it.
Jesus Christ.
But the art is very colorful. I love it. I just everything about the game I'm enjoying
Everybody's atomically correct with proportions of body sizes, like
they're proportioned
muscles.
the way they should be proportioned.
You're gonna have to edit all that out.
I know. It is what it is. Hashtag me too. No.
So the characters are all. It's kind of Gears of War-y. Everybody's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because of the art.
Oh, no.
Not because they're physically amazing.
No, but I mean, the guys are these big, huge,
beefy dudes.
Yeah. With like cool cloaks, cool armor, awesome weapons.
I want to say that reminds me of like characters from maybe Dungeons and Dragons, but like Magic the Gathering cards, where that's what they look like.
Sure. Well, like the main character that I'm playing right now as he's some kind of cool bounty hunter. He looks. Have you ever played the game?
DuckTales.
No. You are death. No, you're not death. You're war. And you ride on this horse, and you got this big, huge sword. Darksiders. He looks almost identical.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
To the guy from Darksiders.
He was a BA.
Right. He doesn't have. I think the guy from Darksiders has like a. Does he have a beard?
Do you even see his face? No. His eyes glow, and he's kind of like got a scar on his face.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, if you put the two next to each other, there's probably some copyright issues because they look very similar. But nonetheless, there's just so many different types of characters. Like there's people with guns, there's people with huge swords, there's people with there's wizards. They have a very simplistic elemental damage abilities. Fire can destroy nature, and nature can destroy water, and water can destroy fire. So it has that nice, easy triangle. It's easy to remember. Unlike some of the other games I play, you have to kind of like mentally almost build a map like in your head. Like, well, nukes can defeat mechanics, and mechanics can defeat bio, and bio can defeat nukes.
It's too complicated.
Right? It's
wind, water, earth.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like rock, paper, scissors.
Right. It's a lot easier to remember. Technically, the other one, it's only 3 elements. I should be able to remember it. But every single time I go into battle, I have to like re-remember it. Whereas
you forgot the 4th element, Steve, that beats everything.
Yeah. Whereas here it's easy. Fire destroys nature.
Well, fire burns trees.
Right.
Water puts fire out.
Well, trees drink water, and then water puts out fire. It's easy to remember.
Trees drink water.
They do. They drink it all the time. They drink lots of it, otherwise they die.
Can you explain the birds and the bees to my daughter?
You bet. No problem. You got
Trees drink water.
Either way, that's the game I've been playing a lot recently, and I love it. It's a ton of fun. There's so many heroes you can collect, kind of like in Hero Hunters. I'm back into, I guess, collecting heroes, just in a different game. I just needed something fresh, and this is the fresh new game.
So you play a new mobile game almost every month or so.
Yeah.
So this is the new.
This is the new one that's consuming my time.
Okay.
I played Sonic Forces for like a short period of time, but I ran out of that pretty fast because there's not much to it. Whereas this has a lot more.
Sonic Forces on your phone?
On my phone. There's two different versions.
Oh.
The phone version is way different and way more simplistic than the cool Nintendo Switch version.
Okay.
All right. Should we switch to movie reviews? Because there's some major movie news going on right now, as well as we just saw Deadpool 2.
Yeah, we saw Deadpool 2 last Friday. 9 a.m. That was actually was not kind of nice. There was people in the theater with us.
Yep.
But it definitely was not full.
Right. Which makes sense. It was 9 a.m.
Yeah. Without giving spoilers away, though, it's a hilarious movie. It actually works really good as a sequel. A lot of times the sequel tries to outdo the first one, or they make the sequel worse, and people don't like, kind of like The Matrix, right? The second one dove really big into the story. People that thought the first one was a nice action movie hated the sequel.
Sure.
This just kind of continues the story. It almost feels like the next episode.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's trying to be a sequel. It just is the next. Felt good. There was only 2 times when they were making this joke that I was like, okay, this is annoying. Move on.
What was the joke?
They just kept going back and forth, like atomic. No, not atomic.
Well,
him wrote the blue.
Him talking to the stupid girl. The teenager.
Nope. Well, that was
Domino.
Domino, yeah. I thought she had blue hair, but no, Domino didn't. Mm-hmm. Domino, when they first met, is just this like back and forth. It's like, okay, you've said it 12 times.
Yep.
It's now annoying.
Right.
Oh, and they do it 1 or 2 more times. Okay.
Yeah, in the trailer, they make that conversation a lot shorter, and it's a lot better in the trailer because it's shorter. It's more funny. Whereas it goes back and forth too many times. You're absolutely right.
And then there was another one where it's a different character in Deadpool, and that was right on the edge of being to the annoying point.
Peter?
No.
Because Peter
I think it was with Cable.
Oh.
At the end.
Well, you know why it's annoying? It's because Deadpool is annoying. Deadpool is an annoying...
He brings it... It was fine like 4 times, but they kept going beyond that, and that was like, oh my god.
Right, and I agree with you.
But otherwise, I thought the rest of the movie was pretty funny.
It was a very funny movie. It had some awesome laugh-out-loud moments in it, and it had bomb action.
Oh my god,
this movie to me is way better than Deadpool 1, in my opinion. I love this movie.
Was it you that brought up the point? No, one of our coworkers did, but a lot of the jokes were relevant to literally the last 6 months.
It is kind of crazy.
And so they've pinned themselves into this time frame.
That's how I feel about it as well.
Okay, so you do feel the same.
It wasn't me who mentioned that. No, but yeah, but there are some very relevant jokes that are in it. And in fact, there was even more that got cut out because they were too relative. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know of any. I haven't watched it.
No, yeah, there was several jokes and scenes that got cut out because they were pinning themselves into just this year. And it's like, yeah, that's funny. And if this was Saturday Night Live, that would be great. But this isn't Saturday Night Live. This is a movie that's going to be viewed for decades to come. There's no reason why we should make a joke that has to do with this week.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I didn't really pick up on it, actually. I mean, I remember hearing about one of them. I remember there was a political joke.
Yeah.
I remember it. I glossed over it real fast. Like,
right.
It didn't mean anything to me.
Right. I mean, as a whole, all of their jokes are time irrelevant. They can be used at any time. But there was just a couple jokes that I think Dustin pointed out, and I remembered as well. And I thought, what, you'd really have to be up on your
news of that time
exactly to know what the joke even means.
Totally recommend it, but it is rated R.
Very R.
Slash
if
X.
you don't like masturbation jokes and seeing dicks, then there's no reason for you to be looking at this movie.
There was a bunch of cameos of surprise cameos that I had to go back and double check on the internet who they were because I didn't believe it.
Yep.
Don't want to wreck it, but it's too new to start talking about it. But
it's very. This movie is awesome. So Cable,
you weren't really excited about Deadpool, so this was good to hear that you liked it.
Right. I wasn't too excited about it because Deadpool to me ruins. I don't like clowns in my
superhero movies.
In my superhero movies. Like,
what about the Joker? He's a clown.
That's that is completely different. But exactly, I don't like people who are trying to make fun of comics or pulling me out of the comic. I want to be in it. Like Mr. Pixelit or whatever his name is from. You don't know even who that is. He's this like fairy, like dumb creature from another dimension who's in the DC universe, and he shows up and fucks up the DC universe all the time. And every single time I see that happen, it just makes me want to strangle the writer that put him in whatever comic book he is in. And sometimes I want to strangle Deadpool to death because it's like, will you stop fucking with stuff? But this movie didn't bother me at all. I love this movie from top to bottom. It had some... Also, stay for the mid-credits scene. The mid-credits scene is awesome.
There's 2 or 3 extras?
It's just, technically, I think it's 1. It's just, it has a delay in the middle, so you think that it's over, and then they bring it right back. So
it was worth... it's funny.
It's very, very funny. I love Cable. Cable's one of my favorite X-Men of all time. He is probably my favorite X-Men of all time.
So I have no idea who the hell Cable was. I watched the X-Men cartoons, but I don't remember Cable.
Sure.
But... like Aquaman, they made him a badass.
He's so awesome. And I was terrified that putting him in a Deadpool movie was going to make him a joke, and I wouldn't like it at all. But they made him dark, they made him cool, and it's exactly what I wanted from it. And he balances out with Deadpool. So it doesn't become a DC Universe movie, and Deadpool makes a joke about that. He's like, "What are you from the DC Universe?" Because he's so dark. Because he's so dark.
And he kept his like personality of that very serious future dark character the entire time, even at the up until the end. And
the combo of them both, the yin and the yang of them, it's just mint. It's just so good. I love it.
And there was a bunch of other cameos of villains and stuff where
oh yeah,
flew me. I was like, good thing I didn't lok at spoilers because this is crazy.
I was so grateful I did not spoil it because there was some awesome stuff that happened in it that I was not expecting, and I was very grateful for it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore because there's like a bunch of other things where I was going.
Yeah, either way, 2 huge thumbs up for Deadpool 2. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
You'll see it, and then we can talk spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
The other big movie that, because we saw Deadpool a week after it came out, the other one that dropped that morning was Solo.
Yes.
The Star Wars story.
Yes, which has a lot of news around it right now.
I'm glad we didn't go.
Yeah, this is a massive financial flop. They are not even going to make their money back by the looks of it.
Opening weekend of Deadpool, I think they made $125 million.
Correct.
Opening for Star Wars, which usually is a blockbuster,
was 8. Okay, for 4 days they made it over 100 million. But for a 3-day weekend, if you only count the 3-day weekend, they made only, I think it was $86 million.
Yep.
They bombed hardcore, and they were talking 170 million. They didn't even come close. People were saying that if they only make 120 million, Kathleen Kennedy might lose her job. They only made 86, I think.
83.3.
Okay, so yeah, they bombed so hard. They're not even close to making their money back at this point, because usually if you bomb hard in the United States, you at least have the rest of the world to make up their money. But in this case, it's flipped, and there's not even the rest of the world to back them up. They only made $10 million in all of China. They made, I think, another like 27, I think, in Europe or something like that. Ooh. They didn't make nearly anything overseas at all. So they're bleeding money, because this movie, I think, cost like $250 million to make. They might, after this all said and done, they might break even. But this is not a money-making movie for them. And this has a lot to do with the fans giving Kathleen Kennedy and Disney the middle finger, saying, you screwed up so bad with The Last Jedi that we are not going to pay to go this time around.
Well, I would agree with that, but I'd also add that this movie got such bad reviews, and people were so disappointed in that main character's acting and all those stories that came out.
Sure.
That they didn't even want to support it even after that.
Right, but I'm saying, going into this, I know that there was a lot of boycotts going on around it, saying that we're not going to watch this, we're not going to give you our money, because you think that you can just spit out whatever, yep, and then we're just going to give you the money and we're going to go. Whether or not,
which is like the opposite of what happened with Batman vs Superman and then Justice League, which is what you talked about.
No, actually, like, this is like a 1-for-1. Like, Batman vs Superman was hot garbage to a lot of people.
Yep.
I didn't like it. I personally like it, but that is just my opinion. For the vast majority of everybody, this movie bombed, and people hated this movie. But it made a lot of money. It made a lot of money because people had a lot of anticipation.
You mean The Last Jedi did?
No. Both. The Last Jedi, because these are 1-for-1 equivalents. The Last Jedi made a gob of money, and so did Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, it did?
They made tons and tons and tons of money, but they were the crashing point.
Oh, okay.
All these people paid a lot of money to go see these movies. They were so massively disappointed and so angered over both of these movies that when the next movie came out, Justice League, even though Justice League was a better movie...
what I meant was Justice League was a better movie.
Right.
And it bombed.
Oh, sorry.
Because of that.
Yeah,
where like Han Solo was a worse movie.
Well,
at least
it matters who you talk.
At least it was another bad movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of issues. Some people said that they enjoyed the film. I know Jeremy Johns, who I trust a lot. He said the movie was super boring, and he couldn't believe that that they would expect us to watch this, because he's like, this is just a boring movie. I'm gonna forget about it in a day.
And we talked about this last time. He is a giant character.
Yes.
He steals...
He's the coolest character in Star Wars to most people.
And what do you call it? He's a pirate...
swashbuckler.
And he's his badass attitude, and they... Not that amazing. We haven't seen the movie, but all the reviews, you actually looked up spoilers, and it's just... mediocre at best.
I consumed just about every spoiler for this movie that I could, because I knew I wasn't going to it, but I knew that I was wanting to still know everything about it. So I watched every spoiler video.
I will wait till it's free for me to watch. I will not pay to see this movie.
Sure. Well, that's kind of how I feel about it now. We didn't want a Han Solo movie. Not that we don't like Han Solo, but we don't need you to monkey around with his prequel, if that makes sense. Like, we already know who he is. You don't need to tell us who he is. First of all, he's Harrison Ford. Let's leave him at that. You don't need to bring in some other guy to try to pretend he's Harrison Ford.
We were happy with what we had.
Yeah, we were very happy with the Han Solo we had.
And then they think because we're happy with him that they just want to make a prequel. But then they just wreck everything that they put a bad taste in all the nostalgia that we had for it.
Right.
So you were talking about the lady that...
Kathleen Kennedy.
She doesn't own it, but she's the one controlling the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, she's controlling the Star Wars universe right now.
You had mentioned the rumor might be, if these stop doing well, Battlefront failing. And we don't remember where the license pulling is with EA yet.
Right.
But this movie failing, the last movie, have people having problems, she might get kicked out.
Right. And Battlefield failing isn't her fault. That's EA's fault. Her having another female lead again, because all of her movies have all had female leads, and in games have all had female leads, except for Solo has a SJW droid that walks around the entire time just being like an annoying feminist droid, because she goes around the entire time talking about droids' rights the entire time. Right. And that, in my opinion, is the biggest problem with this series ever since Kathleen Kennedy has had her hands on it, is she's trying to do very specific things with this series. She wants her opinions and her SJW opinions in their face, and we watch these movies for escapism. We watch these movies to forget our problems with this current world that we're in. We got enough political issues and people hating people left and right. We watch Star Wars to get out of this environment. When you put this in our escapism, there's no escape. We're just stuck with more bullshit in our face.
This is the same problem that the Ghostbusters female reboot had.
100%.
And not blaming the actors of the Ghostbusters reboot, but the lady in charge at Sony at the time wrecked it.
Right, and that's why she got fired.
Do you know who her name was? It's not the same person.
It's not the same person.
Okay.
At least I don't think it is.
And that's really too bad, because these movies are now around forever.
Correct.
And they are part of the Star Wars franchise.
That's what's even worse.
And so now we're going to have, I only recommend watching 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Maybe 7.
Yep.
And then, that's pretty much it. And all the other movies suck.
Right. Yeah, I personally enjoy the prequels. A lot of people are blaming a lot of the hate for these newer films on the fact that it's so much different. Kind of like the prequels were so much different. So like, well, you just don't like them because this is a new generation Star Wars. And it's like, no, I don't like them because you took our characters. Like, see, at least with the prequels, they were before but the modern characters, like Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. But you took our characters, you degraded them, and then killed him off. Like, you took Luke Skywalker, made him a chump, made him not a hero, and then you killed him. And they did the same thing with, like, Han Solo's relationship with Leia and stuff like that, and they do a lot of the same junk with a lot of our characters. They degrade them and then kill them. And it's no surprise that Leia's the only survivor in this mess, even though she died in real life, because Kathleen Kennedy wants to keep her around, because she just has to have an all-female staff the entire time. And it's just getting bogus. And listen, I have got I'm serious when I say this. I got no problem with female leads. I do have a problem when you shove it in my face constantly that females are better than males. And it's like, okay, we get it. We get what your opinion is.
Yeah, we need to be equal, but at the same time, we're working with the Star Wars universe.
And with Rey, for instance. So Rey, she is the hero, and that's fine. But the issue is with her, she's a superpowered Jedi, and no one knows why. She has all these crazy Force abilities,
that's right.
And she has all of these lightsaber skills that no one knows how the hell she got. She hasn't had any training from anybody, but she's better than a Sith Lord. It blows my goddamn mind.
And this is hard because when they released 7, it felt like they were rehashing 4 again, right?
Right.
Yet, in 4, Luke goes to Yoda and trains. He literally stays there and trains.
Right.
And Rey never did.
Was it technically? This is episode 5, actually. Episode 5, he goes and talks to Luke.
I don't have Star Wars
he goes and talks to Yoda. Whereas here, she was supposed to do a very similar thing. She was going to go get training, although apparently she didn't need it because she's able to kill Siths anyways. But that's fine. She goes and talks to Luke. Luke is just this pathetic hermit who doesn't give a shit about his friends, doesn't give a shit about the universe. He just wants it all just to burn to the ground because he wanted to kill his nephew off the other day. And it's like, okay.
It's almost like Batman vs. Superman. They didn't hash out that part of the story.
They didn't hash out a lot of stuff.
All of a sudden it starts like, so Luke hates everybody? When did this happen? This weird disconnects. It's like the same as Batman vs. Superman and how they release it without the director's cut.
Right.
Which actually then explained a bunch of stuff. This is...
So, I mean...
Who watches this before they release it? I mean, that's the thing.
The problem is when they make it, by they, I mean Kathleen Kennedy, oversees it, and she says, yep, this is exactly what I want. It has enough of my social politics in it that I wanted, and we're getting rid of the old characters, because we got to get them out. Anyways, okay. This has nothing to do with Solo. Solo even if it is a wonderful movie, because it probably is a decent enough movie. So the reviews are coming back and that it's not so hot and they think it's maybe kind of boring. Let's say it is a wonderful movie. The reason why it's not making money is simply because of The Last Jedi and all the rest of the nonsense that's going on with her, Kathleen Kennedy's series as a whole right now. That's it for this week, probably.
Yeah, well, we're going to go down tonight.
Yep.
We're going to try a new... I think we already talked about this. We're going to try the new... You put dollars in.
Yeah.
You pay out the end. We'll maybe play some dollar games.
Exactly. So tonight we're going to head down and do our pinball league. We're probably not going to get an interview in, but if we do get an interview in, we'll try to edit that into probably the next podcast or maybe it all by itself as a bonus episode. Go ahead and leave us comments on our Facebook page, on Podbean, through email at flippinandmashin@gmail.com. Well, that's it right now. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye-bye.